He kept saying it over and over again. Take your shirt off. Louder each time. Bolder. Right in front of the new wife none of us had even met before. He grinned like it was a game, like this whole thing was just some hilarious show. And my brother was the main act. And maybe to them, he always has been. I stood there, fists clenched, heart hammering in my chest, watching my brother, the one who's always smiling, always cracking jokes, always trying to keep the peace, try to laugh it off. But I saw it. The way his eyes dropped, the way his smile tightened, the way his shoulders sagged just a little bit more with every taunt. This wasn't just some family joke. This wasn't just boys being boys. This was cruelty, dressed up as comedy. And I couldn't take it anymore. I grew up in a big family, loud, chaotic, the kind where everyone's always in your business. And cousins might as well be siblings at every birthday party, barbecue, or wedding. It's a sea of inside jokes and shared memories. And yes, that ever-present rule, respect your elders. Which, in our family, didn't mean what it should. It didn't mean mutual respect. It didn't mean kindness. It meant silence. It meant that the older cousins, especially the men, could say whatever they wanted. About anyone. To anyone. No consequences. No questions. And definitely no pushback. I stayed quiet for years. Played the role of the good girl, the peacemaker, the one who didn't rock the boat. But something about watching them pick apart my brother, again, flipped a switch I didn't know I had. He's 25. I'm 21. We're close. Always have been. He's that person who lights up a room just by walking into it. He's goofy and kind and just wants everyone to get along, which makes him an easy target. Because that kindness, that softness, to them, it's weakness. At yesterday's dance rehearsal, a cousin's wedding was coming up. Things started normal enough. We were practicing moves, making jokes, half committed to the choreography. And then the usual suspect showed up. My 27-year-old cousin, the one who thinks he's a Greek god reincarnated, and our 32-year-old cousin, the instigator, the one who always jumps into the mess just to make it messier. It started like it always does. The 27-year-old made some crack about being the strongest guy in the room, which, let's be real, everyone knows isn't true. My brother is strong. He's always been built like a tank, solid, grounded, but he doesn't brag about it. Never has. Still, this cousin wouldn't let it go. Take your shirt off, he kept yelling, laughing. Let's compare bodies. He pointed to my brother and said, that's just fat. I'm aesthetic. He said, skinny gets the girls. Your body gets nothing. Let that sink in. He used to be overweight. My brother never said a word about it. Never teased him once. But now that he'd slimmed down, and I say that generously, he decided to take all his shame, all his insecurity, and hurl it straight at someone who had never hurt him. My brother just stood there, half smiling, trying to laugh, but it was brittle. Then it got worse. The 32-year-old cousin's wife, trying to diffuse the tension, jokingly suggested they lift each other, like some dumb strength contest would settle the debate. So what does the 27-year-old do? He lifts my brother, barely, awkwardly, straining with his legs and back. Then, when my brother goes to return the favor, he twists my brother's arm, literally, so he can't be lifted, so he can avoid the moment where everyone would see the truth. My brother's stronger. It was childish, embarrassing, but no one called it out. No one except the groom, the one getting married. He finally said, your brother is the strongest. And just like that, the circus went quiet. But the damage? It was done. When my brother stepped outside to get some air, they pounced. 4 of them, including the 27-year-old. They laughed, mocked him, said things like, "He got mad just because I laughed." They talked about how easy it was to trigger him, like it was some sport. They didn't know I was there, standing just a few feet away, hearing every fake laugh, every cruel word, every disgusting, two-faced comment. But when my brother walked back in, dead silence, like they hadn't said a thing. And when he grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge, the 27-year-old said, "Oh, getting food, huh?" and tried to brush it off as a joke. My heart broke. I saw the flicker in my brother's face, like he didn't even know how to react anymore, like he was used to it. And that's what gutted me, that this was normal for him. That being treated like a joke was expected. That's when I snapped. And I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just turned to the 32-year-old cousin, the one who always jumps in to laugh the loudest and defend the worst behavior. And I said, "Why are you adding fuel to the fire?" He blinked, stumbled, gave a fake laugh, trying to pretend it wasn't that serious. But it was. It was that serious. Because I had finally said it. I had broken the silence that held all this cruelty together. The room shifted. The vibe changed. I felt the weight of every eye, every awkward pause, every breath held just a second too long. And then I felt the tears. I didn't want to cry, but I did. Quietly, angrily. Not because I was embarrassed, but because I hated that I'd waited this long to say something. That I'd let them mock my brother over and over again, hiding behind "it's just jokes." It wasn't just jokes. It was bullying. It was humiliation. It was abuse, dressed up in family clothes. And I was done watching it happen. I left soon after. I didn't want to be around people who thought it was okay to treat others like that. And now, I'm left wondering if I overreacted, if I ruined the moment, if I made things weird for everyone, because I've always been the quiet cousin, the one who never caused drama. But this time, I couldn't stay quiet. I saw my brother getting crushed under the weight of years of harmless teasing, and I decided, enough. So, am I the asshole? For standing up when no one else would? For breaking the silence? For calling out cruelty, even when it was coming from people older than me? For saying that respect isn't something you get just because you were born first? It's something you earn with kindness? Maybe I made things uncomfortable. But maybe that's exactly what needed to happen. Because if speaking up for the person I love makes me the villain in their story, then I'll wear that title with pride. Because I refuse to let my brother carry the burden alone anymore. I refuse to let family be an excuse for pain. I choose love. And love sometimes looks like speaking up when no one else will. You know, stories like this hit harder than most. Not because they're shocking, but because they're familiar. We've all seen it. That one person in the family or the friend group who becomes the punchline. The one everyone teases because they can take it. And we tell ourselves it's harmless, that it's tradition, that it's just how things are. But cruelty, no matter how you package it, is still cruelty. And silence, that's what keeps it alive. What this sister did, it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't rude. It was brave. It was what love looks like when it's tired of pretending. So maybe the real question isn't, am I the asshole? Maybe it's, why do we let the people closest to us get away with hurting the ones we love? Why do we prioritize peace over justice? And when will we finally decide that standing up, even when it's awkward, even when it's hard, is exactly what family should mean? Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you ever had to choose between family expectations and doing the right thing? And what would you have done in her place? This is AITA Stories. And sometimes, the quietest voices are the ones that change everything.